And we're back for another GAC. We have moved up pretty high in the leaderboard today. We're somewhere near the top 300. I think we showed that at the very beginning of our last match. And now the matchups are just starting to get really stupid ridiculous. I mean, I'm grateful for it. I think it's going to be a fun challenge, especially in 3v3. It gives us kind of a leg up because a lot of people don't really advance to want to learn that much in 3v3, so we have a pretty good shot. So we're 324, or at least I think we have. I don't think we're completely shut out. We'll put it that way. I don't think we're gonna win this, although I'm definitely gonna try my best. So we're up against this guy Take. I'm guessing it's like Take because he's in Japan Alliance or something like that. I don't know. I don't know Japanese as well as I would very much like to. But that being said, let's go ahead and check out the spreadsheet here to see how he compares to us. And this is absolutely ridiculous, guys. He has 1,000. So typically this number, depending on where we're doing the leaderboard, is anywhere from like 150 to 300. This dude has 1,000, which if you scroll down, pretty much means he has every single character at R7 or above. Like, this is just absolutely bonkers. Like, it is so many more relics. And then that pretty much means he has everything. Like, yes, of course he has Star Killer. Of course he has Ray. Those numbers will be impossible if he didn't. Omicron-wise, he also does outbeat us. He has all of Star Killers, of course. He doesn't have First Order TIE Pilot, so we got that on him. And then mods. He has us just absolutely destroyed in mods. He has 20 more plus 25s. And that's really this whole bracket. I mean, the top 500 bracket, we've only been in here once or twice, and it is brutal. So, I mean, you name it, he has it. I won't go into specifics because it's just kind of crazy. But that being said, let's go ahead and look at the board because I made some interesting bets against this guy. So on our defense, I went ahead and still placed our very similar front wall from last week. I put in Phasma, TIE Fighter Pilot, and Xylo here. We made a lot of videos on kind of why that's the comp that I want to do. It's not the only comp, but I think it's going to be a pretty good one. And the rest of this should call out some pretty high counters. And the whole goal there is to draw as many of his Geos as possible, so that when he gets to the back, he has to face this. We have C with Malo to prevent Wampa. We have JML here. He put Darth Revan on defense, so he doesn't get to off-meta that. He puts Fennec on defense, so he doesn't get to off-meta this. At least I think. I don't know what Gold Stormtrooper does here. Oh, I didn't definitely want to click on Gold Stormtrooper either. And then JMK and CLS. So really, we're just hoping we can pull his GLs there. Up top, really nothing special. We moved First Order over here from the back, and then in the back is just our pretty classical ship defense that is really what won us the last two matches. We're doing well in 3v3, and it has nothing to do with 3v3. It has everything to do with ships. So that is the way that it is. And then for his defense, it's not, I mean, everything is relic, but some of the team comps aren't too scary. So we have, the standard full R8 General Grievous team. Full R8, Dad Bob Boba with Fennec. I'm going to stop saying R8 because it's going to get old. We've got Iden team, which is pretty good. R9 crew, that's fun to say. And then he's got a Lord Vader team. And in his history, and by history I mean last week, he was only placing Lord Vader. So that's why we took this huge bet to set 4 of our 5 Galactic Legends on defense. And then up top, like these... Like, sure, like, these are some really good teams. R9 Maul. I would love to have R8 Maul. But yeah, I think we'll be able to muscle our way through this, maybe, depending on how well we do. And then just hope that he burns, 3 to 4 GLs here and then just can't get through this. But we have to attack to find out, so let's get going. All right, let's go ahead and get to our battles now. So we need to take out the Galactic Legend first. He's definitely going to be the largest problem here. So we take in our SLKR versus their Lord Vader. Really, without Maul here, it's just really stinking easy. Like, it is so painfully easy. Like, we don't need any other characters. We can just take an SLKR and Watt. The two of them will do it just fine. Watt will survive for a little bit. It really, like, there's almost no way to even misplay this. I mean, you just want to do it how you would normally do it. Stun the characters, swipe those same characters. If you get a shot at Vader, you might as well take it. Just reduce the amount of damage he's going to do, but they're not going to be able to land enough damage on you without healing immunity because of Watt's tech. They really never get healing immunity to stick. So yeah, it's pretty darn easy. They do start to gain a little bit of traction. I did go ahead and do the swipe on Royal Guard there a little bit before the ult, just because I knew that I really wanted Vader to take in the negative mastery. And you can see right now on the screen, he has the triangle above his head. which means he took in so much negative mastery that it overcame his positive mastery, and he's dealing even less damage than he would do before. His mastery will actually build up past that, and it'll go back to the circle like it did now. But yeah, this isn't even close. I don't even think they got past a protection, which we don't exactly have a high protection SLKR. So this is very, very easy. I mean, he gets to his ult, it doesn't matter. It takes a little bit of time just to work him down, but I mean, this is R9 fully clocked Lord Vader. Everything on his defense, I said this multiple times during the stream, it was getting a little bit annoying, but everything he has is like super high relics, which makes this team a little annoying. So they, you just watch. Iden one-shots my Marauder on a counter. So I was thinking like this would probably be fine if we could line up the death mark right. We do not line up the death mark right. And Iden kills my team on counters. So we have to come in with Wampa to clean up, which this isn't great. And the whole reason I didn't do Wampa first, I was pretty sure he would work, was because I was worried about my opponent possibly having a Galactic Legend in the back wall. And that was probably kind of dumb. Like I shouldn't have been trying to do budget counters in a match. But at the same time, when we walked into this match, and this is going to be a repeating theme for some of the other fights, I know that I can't beat him in efficiency. He has, guessing that he doesn't have Galactic Legends in the back wall, he has 5 Galactic Legends on offense, along with Star Killer, and just, you know, literally everything in the game that you could ever want. So my only chance at really beating him is either stalling him out of my back wall or ships holding. Ships being probably the most realistic, but even that's pretty darn hard, because I mean he has First Order Officer at R8, which makes the First Order counter to Executor very, very consistent. As you can see, this battle is going kind of well. We're landing healing immunity every now and then. We're getting a decent amount of dots out there. I do try to get greedy every now and then and just use a basic on Storm. Don't do that. You really have to just commit to the stacking of offense. That's the only way you're going to get through until you get a clear shot. We got Storm out, so that's pretty much game. I mean, Iden's not going to solo us, and she doesn't have enough recovery different from Storm to be able to take us, so she's dead. It worked very, very well. And then this battle also, this wasn't a good idea. So we go ahead and take in our Padme versus their Dad Bob Boba with Zam. The team's pretty good, honestly. Like, I know I hate on Dad Bob Boba a lot, but Zam in there is a lot of raw stats. And then Fennec as well. I mean, this is R8 Fennec, and she gets stacking offense from Bam. So, I mean, they're gonna pack a punch. As you see there, that was a lot of damage. And really, this just wasn't a good idea. Like, the enemy team doesn't have any assists or counterattacks. So, like, everything that Padme is good for was pretty much just thrown away in this fight. And the team we ended up coming to clean up, we should have just done it from the very beginning. But before we do get to that cleanup fight, we're going to go ahead and take out their First Order with Bad Batch. This is really easy. I guess it could have gone a little south had we not stunned Rex on the initial one, because then he would have cleansed everyone else, and then crew would have got us 2 turns stun up. I also don't like this at all. I don't like putting 2 tanks in one team. I think that's just bad. I mean, again, this guy has literally everything, but I think in general that's bad character management to put the 2 tank. Like, the First Order can now make 4 teams in 3v3, and to put both of the tanks in one team just doesn't seem like the right choice. But anyways, I don't think, that being said, I don't think another character really would have changed this outcome. We did this against a Hux variant last time, and even not getting the stun on Hux wasn't enough. So coming in with Bastila Cam, well, Ben versus this team, we should have done this from the very beginning. This would have been an excellent counter to use. I think I was wanting to save this for probably Qui-Gon Jinn on the back wall, assuming it was there. But yeah, we obviously didn't do that, and now we have to use this cleanup anyway. So we burned our Padme team, which isn't like the strongest team in the world, but at the same time, you don't want to give away fights for freezies. This fight, this was really kind of cool. So one of the nice things about fighting this guy, this opponent, was since everything of his was pretty much R8 or R7 or R9, any counter that we used in this is almost guaranteed to work in any other situation, because if we know it works against R8s and R9s, it has to work against, you know, a normal player that we would fight, that everything is like R5, R7. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, we go ahead and stun Grievous there just because I know it'll stick, and I don't want him getting multiple AoEs off back to back and just killing us. So we let the stun stick. And now that everyone's pretty close to full health, we go ahead and take out B1, that was pretty good. And now we're trying to, the name of the game right now is just to stall, because we don't want Grievous to get 2 kills off, because if he does, then we just lose, because our summon will go away. So pretty much we're trying to get as much health and protection back as possible until we inevitably give Grievous a free turn here. We do land the stun, that's pretty nice. That just will make sure Magna won't counter. Also really nice, they didn't get the kill on Kara. So we don't have to wait for her to come back because we already have her back. We promoted the Worthless Guy. I don't know if that was a good idea, because the whole point of this is trying not to kill them. And he gives defense penetration, so we're now cutting through Magna way faster than we would have before. So yeah, Grievous does get his turn. He doesn't kill anyone. That's game right there. They cannot do anything about that now. So Magna and B1 are both down. We can go right for Grievous now. We do hold the revive, or at least I'm wanting to make sure to see if Grievous will take one more turn if we need the protection at some later point here. But yeah, keep going after Grievous. Really no reason to try to stun him. He'll get out of it anyway. So Grievous gets what we assume is his last turn, and then so we go ahead and use our protection recovery, and then just hope we'll get enough from Mon Mothma's basic here. We go ahead and promote Worthless Guy to level 3. I don't actually know what that does. I should probably read that. But okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take in Thrawn versus their Talon team. This is pretty safe. This is pretty darn safe. Even no matter kind of how this splits, we should have an easy enough time getting in and killing them. So we go ahead and just get rid of the debuffs there. The one thing that is pretty huge that does change here is we can't go for the kill on DR because he has somewhat of a revive mechanic. So we have to go right for the kill on Bastila Fallen, and we get it. So that was super nice. And now we have to deal with DR and Talon, which it's not great, but it's doable. So we go ahead and we get in there. We fracture Darth Revan. Kind of want to keep him from controlling things. And Talon actually does a fair amount, but we don't want to. I don't want to burn my coal right now onto Darth Revan because we're just going to end up resetting him. So we just go for the basic there. Try to pump L3, but I really don't want to lose L3. And again, Talon's doing a decent amount of damage here. We go ahead and get Darth Revan back underneath whatchamacallit. Kind of misplayed this here. We should have maybe waited one more turn to go into Merciless because I was afraid they were going to get the revive, but killed Talon on a basic, so that worked out really well. This was good. This felt like it should have been sketchier. So I thought this was going to rely on getting a bunch of the right assists with Dark, and we actually don't get many of them. You'll see here that we got it this time, but both the first and the second time we got assists from Veers, which is not good. You don't want that. You want all the assists to get poured into Dark, and especially with their team being so high relicked, I was surprised that my R5 Dark just kind of destroyed them. So shame on me for doubting that. We go ahead and take in our JTR counter again here. Again, I'm really kind of, we don't have a lot of choice. We're just doing what we have to do, but the gear difference here, just seeing kind of where that's important and where it's not. So we do land all the debuffs on Chupio. He is not modded at all for 3v3. He doesn't have any tenacity or crit avoidance, so we're able to pretty much control him with expose this entire time. I really like putting the whatchamacallit onto JTR. I have her modded actually rather tanky. I think I have her modded for, I think it's protection and defense. So she can take a hit, at least from CLS. Now that Nubak is gone, his stats go with him. And I would have liked to switch over to BB-8 there that turn. I think that was dumb. JTR was getting kind of weak, and solo CLS isn't probably going to kill BB-8. So get him down and call that a win. This one, I like this a lot. I think this is very, very valuable for the rest of my 3v3. So we don't have JMY and really any of our other damage dealers. I put JMY with, or GMY, with JML on defense. And now we have to take Jedi Knight Revan versus this team. And this is a really, really, really well modded Vandor. It is 100,000 health. And that's before adding his unique. So I'm a little worried that we're just not going to have the offense to get through him here, because there's a lot of survivability on this team, and we don't have a whole lot of stacking offense. Like, we can stack a little bit with Kyle Katarn with his special buff there, but we end up just doing enough damage to kill Vandor. And once you kill Vandor, that's game. They can't recover after that. We do exhaust Savior, but it doesn't really matter. 60k hit on Dash with the Kyle Katarn hit. That was pretty cool. Haven't even maxed out the ability yet, and from here, I just, maybe not right this second, but I just clicked auto at a certain point in this because L3 is very, very tanky, especially with all three of her I don't even know what to call those. Her power-up moves, whatever that's called. So I was a little worried this might time out, so I just went ahead and clicked on auto to see if we can get everyone going full speed. Kagotarn does get his buff maxed out, so he's doing more damage than he typically would. He's our damage dealer here. Him hitting multiple times is also really nice. His big hit is kind of big, and we are just able to work L3 down. I think one of the things that does help too is Jedi Knight Revan increasing the cooldown on her heal. That was really, really helpful. So now we get to take an Iden versus their Mon Mothman. The Mon Mothma comp they put down isn't one that has any damage. There's no Kyle Katarn here or anything like that. So we go ahead and we take in our undergeared Iden. We take in our Gear 12 Iden, Shore, and Death Trooper. Again, just hoping this works because we really don't have a whole lot of options here. I can't keep losing teams, but they don't have like one big hit that is enough to kill my Death or my Shore for that matter. So that's really what's necessary for my team to lose. And eventually, we're thinking that we'll just build enough offense because this team does have stacking offense that we'll be able to kill them. So things are going well for the most part. I think I might have just put this on auto too, because again, the name of this battle is stacking enough offense to the point where we can actually kill someone, and then once they're killed, we can land death mark on the other one, and they'll go super fast. So yeah, threw this on auto here. Made sure to aim at Car. I didn't want to get Car alone. I don't want her to link like stuns or anything gross like that. So we definitely keep target on her. Although her taunting actually does make that very easy. So once she's down, we go ahead and take the whatchamacallit off because I don't want my characters aiming after worthless guy and throwing death mark on him. And there we go. We get the kill. So now we're up to the back wall, and he did put Qui-Gon Jinn there, and they almost kill my entire team before we take a move. So I didn't really know if this was going to work, but this is the strongest team I had left. And I knew regardless of what happened, we had to kill Qui-Gon Jinn here. Qui-Gon Jinn had to die. If Qui-Gon Jinn doesn't die, then this team will just never go down. So we got him down, and that was really nice. And then we went in against this Nute team, and I typically have the mod advantage every single time I fight someone with this counter. And I didn't really know what would happen if I didn't have the mod advantage, and it's not really pretty. They were able to link kind of the stuns and extortions, which isn't really good at all. And then Dooku gets a stun, and then Jango one-shots, double taps my Fu. So this really just starts going downhill really fast here. So not great. Should not have used this counter, at least knowing the difference in speed mods that we had. If we had a faster team, that would have been much, much better because we would have been able to stun and control them from the very beginning. So we take in Bam. I don't know why we didn't do this before. This was very dumb on my part. This was me going with muscle memory of having the mod advantage. In this fight, we do not have the mod advantage. So Bam just runs circles around this team. Even with my Gear 12 IG in there, it doesn't matter. The amount of debuffs they put out that just go back to dots. And then when the dots go to them, we get turn meter based on that. So even not being able to kind of target who we want, even Dooku landing the stuns on the characters that he wants to, being able to dispel the stun immediately is really nice. That way we can actually pay the extortion so they can't just link that and totally outspeed us. But yeah, this is a pretty convincing win. We get birds off on their whatchamacallit guy. They do get a decent amount of extortion. This is one of the beauties of having, I think you get a 320 Nute. Nute is very, very dangerous at high speeds because how fast the extortion can spread pretty much just as fast as you pay it, which is really what you don't want. They do get through the team very easily. So I'm running really, really low on teams right now because of the amount of defense we put down. So I don't even read the kits. I just threw this in here. Again, we know this match isn't going to come down to it's not going to come down to what's it called? An efficiency match. So I'm like, all right, we just need to get the teams down. Let's see what Ness can do. Seventh Sister has Undispellable Days, which we know that now, and we'll remember that. So we won't be doing that again, but just wanted to see where it would get us. So those are pretty much our last real team. Everything else is going to be just taking things apart. Actually, no, we do have another real team for the other Inquisitor team. But I mean, this is pretty simple. The Boba team is okay. The better variant is definitely with Zam in there. I think her thermals do a lot more than Embo does, but I mean, the way he used Zam wasn't terrible either. I think we misplayed this a little bit between our stuns and our shocks. We should have done probably a different move at a different time, but I mean, it works for the most part. We were able to get the tenacity up off of Dengar, which is really nice. So that way, now he's got shock, so we can't get it again. And now everything will land on him. So yeah, keep the shot going, get Boba number 2 out of there, and then just work down Dengar, and there's nothing they can do about it. So that team went down really easily. And now we go in to clean up the Cam, Jedi, and Anakin. This is really where the Cam Omega really shines. We go right after Jedi Anakin now, just because we don't want what's-his-face to get ticked off. And I think somewhere around here, I severely started to misplay this as well. Like, we put the whatchamacallit onto Bo, which that was fine. But I don't think we used the buffs, or the lead buff to its fullest extent, because she is going to lose the taunt here in a second. We go right back after Anakin, which is probably fine. Yeah, and actually, Bo does pretty well. Maybe Gar was the right choice, but my Gar is also R1. So I probably should have put the taunt onto my own Beskar, onto my own Mandalorian at that point, just to get rid of the daze, and she would have started to tank things well. And then I went ahead and used a Mass Assist when everyone was dazed, so huge misplay there. And then, yeah, Solo Bo-Katan is not going to take out Solo Cam, despite having 3 stacks of Beskar and having a lead active. So that was kind of sucky. I totally misplayed that. That could have been 10 banners back if we had played it right. So we go ahead and take this team against the Inquisitors. I still have no idea what the Inquisitors do. Gonna have to learn them at some point, and this is actually really gross. Our contract target is on the character that pretty much stealths every single turn, which pretty much means we're very rarely going to be able to hit him because we don't have an AoE, and when we can, it's only going to be with Mando, because the Ninth Sister taunt, wow, is that consistent. That is a really consistent taunt, because I think she gets it back every single time, as long as there is an enemy with Purge out there. And because, most teams are constantly assisting at a turn, there's a huge amount of Purge out there. So yeah, they're ripping us apart for the most part. Our boss is taking a lot of heat. Can't do a whole lot. We are slowly but surely getting closer to the contract, but it's getting to the point where it doesn't really matter. They're eating us, and we can't get past the taunt. So we finally get the contract, and this is good because now we've got our bonus speed, but we just need to not have everyone die. So we were able to get contract. We get the disintegrate going. We get rid of Fifth Brother, which is nice. Probably gonna have to disintegrate all of them just because we don't have the damage. I mean, there's no damage other than Mando here to begin with, and he's also gear 12. So, but I mean, that's fine. You don't lose any points for winning a battle that just disintegrates. In fact, it's kind of cool. Even Eighth Brother, who is by no means tanky, we have to disintegrate him. So he went down, and then we went and took in Geos to finish off our dumb Cam mistake over there. Which, yeah, maybe this should have been the right move. I don't know. I feel like I've seen Jedi Anakins without the lead still just AoE Geos into the next week. Big hit wasn't as big as I would have liked it to be, but unfortunately for Cam, he doesn't get to burn the Geos like he does in the whatchamacallit show. So now, yeah, we have to kill off Seventh Sister here. I'm trying to remember what we took in for IPD. But we took in something for IPD and Seventh Sister. We took something in. It only killed 2 of them. It wasn't good. But yeah, so we get to ships. And we're going to go ahead and use Old Reliable here, which I'm going to make a video of this very, very soon. This will be, hopefully this will be my next video. But we take in our burner fleet, get rid of all their cooldowns. They come back in, they waste the taunt on a character that can't use it because they're dumb. And then here's the thing, even with R8 Cad Bane, like, he survives long enough that the Mass Assist happens, but he can't survive after that. So we're able to kill him before Boba comes out. We're able to keep the taunt off of What's-His-Face, and then this is where we made a mistake in the last battle, might have been before that, where we didn't just commit to wanting to fill the board, and we brought in, like, Cassian or someone. You really need to bring in Finks. You need to be able to control the board, because the more rebels you have, the more chances you are going to have to call the Millennium Falcon to assist, and the more chances you have Millennium Falcon has to assist, the more likely you win. But I mean, this is just really stinking cool, because this isn't just working, for the 7th or 8th time. This is working against a maxed fleet. We're here with your Gear 12 Akbar, our R3 Biggs, our Gear 8 or whatever Phoenix, and this is working fairly successfully against a completely maxed fleet. It's awesome. So Again, we're able to take control. We're able to get rid of Razor Crest. They're bringing their last reinforcement, and I'm a little bit worried right now that they're gonna get contract because they've gotten quite a bit of target lockout. Not a whole lot, but enough to worry me. We go ahead and use the cleanse, I think on Biggs, just to make sure everything stays off them. And I don't know if you guys saw earlier, but we held our shield disruptor at a certain point because they were going to use the mass assistant cleanse it, and we held it for now. It stuck. We got him out. We got our ultimate, and then that, I mean, IG or 1000 or 2000 or whatever his name is isn't going to survive that. Then the rest of this pretty much just plays out as normal. We have our Malevolence versus their Empire team. We do suffer the unfortunate dodge here. We go in for the stun. He dodges it. So not only does he dodge the stun, but he dodges the hit. And that Vulture is never assisting, so that's also not great. So they kill him for us. That was very nice. That was very nice of them. Yeah, typically TIE Bomber would be dead right now. But we get in Spy. We get rid of their whatchamacallit, just because that way target lock doesn't just eternally stick on us. The Bomber does get his fire out, which is okay. We're already like halfway through him, so we might as well just commit to him. Get rid of the Foresight. We're not doing nearly as much damage as I was like. They're definitely going to get to their ult, just because with the Interceptor there, they also have reduced cooldown, so this isn't going super great. We do eventually get TIE Bomber down, and then we just go after their, we want to go after their Interceptor, but we get stuck behind Sith Bomber, and of course, they get rid of our Hyena, which don't like that at all. We need to bring in Geos Soldier, just because if Geos Spy's got a thermal on him right now, or I forget what the name is for them in fleets. It's not thermal. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He got that out of him, so I was worried he was going to die. And if he dies, then we're just completely out of here, regardless of our Vulture droids or not. So we got rid of what's-his-face. We were able to go right in and get rid of Palp Shuttle, so that was great. We finally got our ult against just TIE Reaper. And go ahead and take him out and call that one a day. And then we finally take in our Finalizer, no pun intended, against his Raddus. And we now have the Echelon at 5 stars. So we go ahead and start it because we're going to be able to soft taunt with the whatchamacallit here. And I need to figure out how to tackle this tank better, because we never lose, but it's always super messy. Like, they always heal at the first turn. So I don't know if we're better off waiting on our big hits the second turn. Really should have dispelled it there. I know that much, because, I mean, crit hit immunity is not something that First Order takes well. So now, because we weren't smart enough to get rid of that, we have to bring in Ebonhawk, because Ebonhawk will clear it. Not only will Ebonhawk clear it, but we should be able to get buff immunity on him so he doesn't get his other buffs back as well, and that should make him a lot easier to kill. So they go ahead and bring in the Millennium Falcon, which is skeptical because it's a pretty big hit. Nobody has target lock, so that's a bummer, so we can't get a big assist here with the Echelon. We just go for the big hit on the tank. It's not quite enough. I just want to get her out of there because she's going to keep taunting. We go for the basic to give everyone turn meter. I'm still not getting the tank down. I mean, again, this is a person with R7, Rose Tico, and Resistance Pilot. So it's going to be a very tanky variation of that. So we go for the stun here with the Silencer. Poe has Tenacity up, so we're not really going to land anything there. So there's not a huge point to trying to do that. Just go on the other one. We go ahead and remove everything with Ebonhawk. Ebonhawk's got a lot of versatility, I'll give it that much. Get things back to Crew. Crew takes rid of one of their damage dealers, I guess. We don't go for the hunt. We just go ahead and bring in our TIE. We really want to try to control what's-his-face now, the Falcon over there. Because if they gets up another big hit, it's gonna be the end of our entire team. So give turn meter back to Crew. He's able to heal with his health steal as well. That's great. And now it's just down to the two of them. This should be pretty easy. Not a whole lot to go off of. Yep, and we just take them all down. So we end up beating him. Or we end up beating that fleet. We do not end up winning the match. We lost by, what is that, 110? 110 banners. So really, really bad loss overall. I will say this. I'm very impressed with how well he did. He one-shot our entire ground defense. So basically, our entire defense, yeah, he has an 11 million account. That's true. My whole goal here was to bait out his Galactic Legends in the front wall, or at least one or two. That way, when he got to the back wall, he wouldn't be able to off-met any of this, because he had Fennec and Darth Revan on defense, and those can be used for off-meta, but he got through the front wall without burning any Galactic Legends, or maybe he burned one. And then he got to the back wall and was able to, use them in a way that he also could one-shot everything. He one-shot my top, and then he failed on Negotiator, which means if his first order would have failed on our whatchamacallit here too, ships might have helped for us, and we might have won by that. We didn't. So props to Take or Take. You have a giant screaming roster, but at the same time, he played really, really well. And now we get Emo Kid Skills, and I'll give a proper introduction to him in the next video where he'll be on the spotlight. But this is a longtime in-game friend of ours, and I'm excited for that battle. But as always, guys, remember to like and subscribe. Until the next time, stay awesome.